Alright, if it looks like either I have major allergies or I've just been crying for a few hours or I'm majorly stoned, it's neither of the three. Can you say neither of the three? It's not any of the three. I think neither is for two. Neither this nor that. I don't know, hold up. Oh! Oh. So my eyes have been watering for the past few hours. Now they're watering more because it's warm in here. So I bought another sunscreen. It's a liquid sunscreen. Never put sunscreen on and around your eyes because it goes into your eyes. But that's not always the case. This is a chemical-based sunscreen. It's not a sunblock, so meaning that there's not, I'm going to keep my eyes closed. There's not titanium dioxide or zinc oxide, which are both physical sunscreens, like where is it? Like either the Aveeno Baby or the Neutrogena Sheer Zinc, which go on very white and leave a white cast. Or I have used Baby Bum Cream. I have it from many years ago and I use it sometimes. It's the same thing, it's just it's not as regulated as this apparently. But the thing is, there is a liquid one with titanium dioxide in it. The L'Oreal Ombrelle, which is popular here in Montreal and Quebec, Canada, from Garnier. You know Garnier, who does the Fructis hair shampoo and stuff. And this one's tinted, so it covers up the white cast, and I can put it around my eyes and it doesn't sting. Now, I tested this. I just bought this yesterday. It's great. It dries up. Neutrogena Ultra Sheer Water Light SPF 60. This isn't the title of this video, but I just started talking. The actual title of this video is How Not to Be Passive Aggressive, or what the how not to react passive aggressively online. But that's why my eyes are watering, and they're watering more. I'm gonna wet my face. I went to the gym like this, and I just kept going, and my eyes are all swollen up, and it looks like I'm just stoned. I tested it, you know, to see if I can do it. And now what I'm gonna be doing, I'm just gonna get like a nice routine, because I wear sunscreen all year round. I'm trying to, at least, because it's important, even indoors. And something not heavy and that takes a little time to do. Like this dries quickly. This takes a while for the cast to go away. But either way, you have to allow 20 minutes for it to get into your skin. And who's got time for that sometimes? So I try to find, depending on how long I stay outside, something heavier, like this, which is a physical sunblock, or this, which is a physical sunblock, or mineral sunscreen. I'll probably do a separate video on this, but I'll probably put it on my other channel. And this also has sunblock because it's got the titanium dioxide, which is good for UVA. Because apparently we only have, I know in the US, how do I get all this information? From Dr. Gray on YouTube. She's a dermatologist. Her site is great for all the sunscreen stuff. So it's avobenzone is the only thing that that is chemical that helps against the UVA rays, which don't burn your skin but cause the deep damage and the skin cancer and the discoloration after a while. Is it discoloration or is it the blue light? Anyways, but it degrades very quickly. So then you have to have the which this has, the Helioplex, which is they have a benzone with oxybenzone or oxy something, and that stings. Anyways, my point being, I tested it out. What I would have to do is put something this around the eyes so I can protect my eyes, and of course wear sunglasses, and then wear this around everywhere else, and then put something for the body around here, because I'm not that sensitive there. I am, but I mean it's not going to sting, and I don't care if it's greasy. So that's my little rant on the sunscreen. But something happened today, and I'm catching myself now, because although I was brought up in an abusive childhood, I only knew violence as love. No, my father wasn't an alcoholic or a drug addict. He was a Holocaust survivor, and he was a short little guy that reminded me of Hitler, except he was Jewish. Well, so was Hitler. But yeah, so little short, effeminate guy, like Hitler, and very low self-esteem, and very violent. So, but apparently that's a European thing, and apparently it's a Russian thing, because you know there's laws against the homosexuality. Gays are beaten up, so it's kind of like cultural. What do you know? He's not Russian. Apparently he was from Belarus, but it was Poland before, then changed to Russia. And now it's called Belarus, that area that he's at, and I guess it kind of evolved. So that being said, I learned violence, but I stopped being violent a long time ago. My violence is directed towards me, is punishing myself. I've never cut myself, but verbally, like, you know, punishing myself verbally like my father used to, you know. But now as I'm getting more and more better at controlling it, because I used to hold it in and then just kind of lash out at someone once a year or twice a year, and nothing great. But then it gets lashed out in the sense that either verbally insulting or passive-aggressively insulting. So, it kind of, you know, as you get better at dealing with your triggers and all that, learning to communicate better, this is what happened. So I joined the meetup group because I wanted to blog. I have my blog, but I wanted to be around people who blogged and kind of like motivate me to do better and do more and maybe learn a little more writing. And because I put it to the wayside because I had someone I was dating helping me post them, and I was good for a bit, a good clip. He didn't post them all. We're not together anymore, although I'm using his Netflix. He hasn't taken it back. So I joined this group on Meetup, and it doesn't look like it's doing well. It's these writers, and not a lot of people show up. And I don't know if you know Meetup, but sometimes people's egos show right through, you know, the moderators of it, the owners of the Meetup, that group, are like, no one showed up, and it's like they felt like they're being very angry in their post. Why would people show up? And why would you care? You know what I mean? It's not about feeding your ego just because you're this famous writer and you've been to school and that, and you expect like 100,000 people to show up for you. It doesn't work like that. I had 2 Meetup pages and sometimes people wouldn't show up. That's the way it is. And then I just close them down. But I would never write on posts, you know, berating people indirectly. So, that being said, I let it go for a bit because I RSVP'd for one meetup and then they canceled it. But what I read is that it was subsidized, so it doesn't matter if there's people, how many people there are, they'd still go. And then they didn't, they canceled it. So it's like, what, you didn't want to just help me? You're getting paid anyways, you know. Meetup isn't for being paid, but sometimes they charge like $2 or something, you know, just to account for the $20 a month that you have to, or $10 a month that you have to pay to have that option to do the groups, you know. And So anyway, so then something came up on my feed, and I decided to look at it. Well, not on my feed, notification on my phone, and it was about blogging. Would you like to blog? Tell us what you like to blog. So I commented. I said I have a fitness blog, and I'd like to work on that with other, you know. And so then they answered me back. You already have a blog. Why would you want? Why would you be here, or something like that? So I didn't understand it, but it's kind of like, it was kind of facetious. I took it. So I had to, you know, pull back a bit and still talk, because it would be easy to say like, well, you're a writing club, and I read your whole profile, and you're a writing group, but your writing isn't clear. But that's passive aggressive, you know, saying you're writers but you can't write because no one can understand you. So I wrote something to the sort of, she's like, what are you here for? I'm here to find like-minded people to kind of, who want to blog and want to write together and maybe get some help so I can improve my writing, and, you know, something to the sort of that. And then I wrote a question: am I in the right group? I tried to make it as not passive aggressive as possible. You know, am I in the right group? If I'm not in the right group, then just remove me, or I'll remove myself. But then afterwards I was ruminating. I was like, what am I going to say? You know, this is why you have no one showing up to your group. No one wants your group. Maybe you should open up to people who actually want to blog and stop being pretentious. So I ruminated for a bit over that, and, you know, then I kind of calmed down. So you have to kind of pull back. I mean, what's the point of doing that? She's going to block me, but I'm going to remove myself anyways if it's not the right group. And this is my point. It's kind of like, if you're dealing with someone who's narcissistic, obviously there's a big point in narcissism, because, I was going to say, this is what I was going to say. I was going to say, I could see by your defensiveness that I caused some narcissistic injury, you know. But what's the point of calling out a narcissist and doing all that? It just doesn't serve a purpose, and I try not to. I see it, and it's like, it's not going to do anything in the long run to tell someone, to tell someone who's an idiot that they're an idiot. You know what I mean? It's gonna go, the page is gonna go away anyways, you know, if he keeps up like that, because who's gonna pay to have no one come, right? There was another guy who had a similar page to that last year, a nutrition page, and he had all these far out ideas. You know, anyone could put anything up, and then a whole bunch of people showed up the first time, and people were asking questions, and people were like, go, 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 and then it trickled very quickly. And then he started getting angry. He's like, I'm not going to do anymore if no one shows up, and this. And I'm like, who the fuck cares? And I'm watching this, sipping on my tea, right? It's like, it's come to a point where people need a meetup page to validate their omnipotence. That's the word. You know? It's a meetup page. You're not interested, or you're not interesting, or people have other things to do. People are not go-getters. They'll come once in a while. Find something else to keep it going, or don't keep it going. You know, that's just what it is. I had a walking meetup group, and that's the way it is. You know, some people would show up when there's something different, but if we keep doing repetitive, the same walking in the same area, they don't want to exercise like that. They want to be entertained. You know? That's why, you know, a lot of people don't go as far as they should in their life, because the boring grind is boring. So, that's it. So, seeing that helps. and saying to myself that it's not gonna serve any purpose to tell us to call someone out, and what's it gonna do? Is it gonna make me feel good? Actually, it's not. It was just showing anger on my part, and it's now my way of being violent, you know, in a passive way. So I try to. I don't know if she's gonna answer. Maybe she might answer just one line or saying no. And okay, I'll be like, okay, sorry, and I'll leave. But if I go too reactively, I might have written stuff, and because I have lately. I did once. Of course, it feels good right immediately after, but then after it's like, why did I do that? You know, kind of like Roseanne style. But it was a sponsored ad on Instagram for Holocaust relatives of siblings of Holocaust survivors, and the ad was just follow the link and we can get you some money. And so I click on the link, but I'm like, you know, I click on the link and it wasn't clear. And it wasn't clear, and we can get some money. Why would I want some money from my dead father who was in the Holocaust? That's the same thing as why would Michael Jackson, the people he molested, why would they want money? If you want money, you want money, but I mean, the point of doing this is for the money? I mean, you know, my father left an inheritance, which I lost on the businesses, but the point is, it's not about the money, you know what I mean? So, I wrote a message back. I said, this seems a little sketchy. And it'd be best to explain what more details, you know. And then I wrote as the next comment, I wrote, if it is I said this seems like kind of scammy. If it is scammy, I hope you rot in hell and get fucked with a broomstick over and over again. Something to that tune. Like something really severe. Like I would go, that's very borderline. That got my point across, but in a severe way. And of course they never answered back. I could have just left it at, that was very scammy, could you please explain more? But I didn't. So I sometimes do that, but I have to pull back to not be so aggressive. But that kind of, I guess it hit a nerve. Not that I had a good relationship with my father, but I don't believe in trying to reel people in like that. You know what I mean? So, that's what I want to say. So, how to not be passive aggressive, pull back a little bit, realize what it is you're doing and how you're feeling, and hold up before you answer. Can't always do it, but I managed to do it this time for the meetup. And, yeah. Talk to you next time.